Nick Caley hired at the start of the week. We still haven't heard from the guy, but it hasn't stopped people from talking. It is the Locker Room, number one source for Texans digital content. You can see me, hear me here throughout the week, 10:30 live nightly, and then SNL 4 o'clock will be at the NFL Combine. We haven't heard from Nick Caley, but it seems like a lot of guessing is going on as to what Nick Caley's offense is going to look like. Because quite frankly, right now, we don't know what a Nick Caley offense is. I've scrolled through the internet. I've seen a lot of people talking about the Rams offense and that system and how that works. I've even seen like snippets and highlights of Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp making plays and dreams of what that looks like. But we don't know what offense Nick Caley's going to run. We don't know if he's going to run it like Sean McVay. I would hope that he has some of his own ideas, but I think it's a dangerous area to go when we start assuming that he's going to do exactly what Sean McVay did. Just look at some of the best coaches and understudies of all time. An Andy Reid offense doesn't look exactly like a Mike Holmgren offense. Same thing with John Gruden. His offense didn't look the exact same. Brian Flores has some different wrinkles in his defense than Bill Belichick. If you try to exactly copy where you were before, I think we should know better than anyone around here how much of a disaster that can be. And I go back to when a former Houston Texan told me when Bill O'Brien first got in the building that Bill O'Brien was basically showing tape and saying, look at how Wes Welker does this, and look at how Randy Moss does this. Why would you even say that when you don't have Wes Welker, you don't have Randy Moss? You had Andre Johnson on the back end, and then you had just a bunch of misfits at wide receiver. So that's not the way that it should go. We have no idea. We know he spent a long time in the Patriots system. We know he spent a couple years in the Sean McVay system. Maybe there's some sort of balance. He has some different ideas, but studying what Sean McVay does and assuming it's going to be Nick Caley, it would be pretty much what we just escaped with the Bobby Slowick philosophy. We were talking about Kyle Shanahan. Can Bobby Slowick do what Kyle Shanahan does? He tried. He didn't really adjust, but we don't know. We'll hear from Nick Caley at the Combine, I'm assuming, hopefully right here or on SNL, as well as at the podium. But we don't know what his offense is. We don't know what his philosophy is. And we also don't know who he likes on the current roster. What if Nick Caley likes this offensive line? He feels it can be saved. I feel like we would be screwed if that were the case. But what if that's the case? What if he thinks that there's like some unrealized potential at the tight end position? What if he thinks there needs to be a complete overhaul? What if he wants to get multiple backs? We don't know that either. Again, we haven't heard from him. We're just completely guessing. Now we know the background and experience. We have those hints. Patriots, Rams, a lot of interest around the league. But philosophically, we have no idea. Quite frankly, I think that's pretty exciting. I think it could be a balance of everything. I have no problem with taking what you learned in New England and taking what you learned with the Rams and figuring out. But I think it's a dangerous area, and it's an irrelevant area to assume that this is going to look exactly like the Rams. It's like when Bobby Slowick got hired. I remember, there was talk when they had a fullback. Well, this could be Juszczyk, and they signed Dalton Schultz. Oh, he could be the George Kittle. Who are they going to use like Debo? Coaches have to use players based on their skill sets. There's not like a Debo spot. Like when Debo Samuel's out for the San Francisco 49ers, they're using Jennings and they're using their other guys a little bit different. If you get all pro caliber players and you're trying to have non-all pro caliber players do what those guys are doing, it's where you kind of find yourself in a little bit of a danger zone. That's that old Bill O'Brien, Randy Moss, Wes Welker story that we started with. So we'll see what he has to do. But the one thing he's got to do better than anything is the systems and players, they need to be balanced. It's not just a plug and play type of situation. You're not going to have Puka Nacua here. You're not going to have Cooper Kupp, or could you? And you're going to need to adjust. That's what the great offensive coordinators do. The ones that just try to copy where they were before, they have crappy offenses. Look at Bill O'Brien. Look at Bobby Slowick. Let's not repeat that history. Can't wait to hear from Nick Caley. Can't wait to hear from you. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it.